how do you validate a startup idea while working full time?
I tell people all the time, like, if you're starting a business and you don't know where to start, go.
Is learning to code a useful skill?
We never spend 45 minutes or an hour anymore, or very rarely, with someone on the phone during that first call because...
All right. Welcome, Gummi.
How are you?
I'm good, man. How you been?
Fantastic.
How's golf been treating you?
Oh, it's been rough.
It's so hard to golf.
rough.
Oh my gosh, the golf.
It's been rough. No, it's good.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of business that gets done.
Of course.
So
what a great place. Seriously, I don't think people recognize how much business can get done on a golf course.
I don't think people recognize how much can get done during any sporting event. Like I just got an invitation that I ended up not being able to go to a Phillies game. Right? And I was like,
but you hate the Phillies.
I don't hate the Phillies. I hate baseball. There's a difference. But I recognized the opportunity that it was like a box seat behind home plate, something.
Oh, you're in the Diamond Club.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Okay. So I had an opportunity to go there, but I had something happening with my girls' school.
Okay, look.
Ended up taking like 30 minutes.
You don't pass on the Diamond Club.
I don't even know what the Diamond Club is.
It's so worth it. It's so great.
I just recognized the networking opportunity, which is why, like, despite me not having an inkling of interest in baseball,
fascinates me.
I still would have gone to that event because of the networking.
Sure.
Right?
No, of course.
But I think golf is one of the few sports where you're participating in the sport rather than watching it.
Yeah.
Where you can actually like network with people, right? Like it's
because you can do both. Exactly.
Yeah.
You can play the sport and you can network at the same time.
Yeah.
Right. You can't do that really with basketball or baseball. Well, don't say baseball. Oh, you're in the dugout for 20 hours.
Well,
not exactly.
Am I wrong?
Anyway, welcome TikTok Live. This is Start It or Scrap It. I'm Mike Dracanian. That's Gummi. And again, for those of you who haven't seen this before, what we do is we go on to Reddit and we take your questions, etc., about starting or running a business. Gummi and I have a lot of experience in that field, and we try to give you some ideas and advice on what to do.
We realize we became the old guys.
We are the old guys.
We are definitely the old guys.
Absolutely the old guys now. I know, it's crazy. What's funny though is in about 15 years, you're like, we're the really old guys.
Yeah. Now we're the guys that we look at. When we started, we're the guys we used to look at and say, "Oh man, those guys have been in business forever."
Yeah, we're going to be the score guys, right? For those of you who don't know what score, what
did you know? I used to teach score.
Yeah. I work with SCORE quite a bit, actually. So for those of you who don't know, SCORE is it's a nonprofit organization. They're all over the country, really.
Yeah, it's government funded.
Yeah, I know.
SBA, right?
Yep. Yep. And what they do is usually it's retired executives and such that have been in business for many years, and they help small business owners that are either getting into small businesses or already have them but just need some guidance, and it's totally free. And they help you. They're like your mentor. They'll guide you through certain things. They'll connect you with the right people. They'll do a variety of things to help your business get to the next level. And they're great. They're great people. Work with a lot of really good people over there.
One of the best like business plan templates that I've ever seen came from SCORE. Yeah. And I tell people all the time, like, if you're starting a business and you don't know where to start, go see if you can find that template, because it literally walks you through everything. Like, it is fantastic.
Yeah, SCORE is a great organization. So anyway, so we're going to be answering questions and such on if we don't have any comments on TikTok Live, we'll go to Reddit and we'll look at some certain subreddits where people ask questions about starting a business and whatnot, and we'll give them some advice. So feel free to leave us a comment on TikTok, and we'll try to get to your comments. Otherwise, right now, I think let's open up with the networking note, right? Again, we talk every once in a while about how important networking is, but it doesn't have to be on the golf course. It could be, at a meeting, chamber of commerce, right? There's organizations, professional organizations that do it. It's like everywhere.
It's like the guy that I'm introducing you to next week, right? Right now, he's looking to expand his business into the US.
Yep.
So the first thing he did was go to a conference in Florida,
right,
to start making connections and meeting people, right? Because it doesn't start with the advertising and all that stuff. It's for him, it starts with logistics. It starts with being able to connect with people that can actually use what he does, right? And because he's a metal fabricator, he has a ton of options. Like one of his signature things that he does is, have you ever seen those metal workout things that are at like parks and stuff?
Oh yeah, sure.
So that's what he does.
Get out. Oh, those things are cool.
He makes those, right?
No, I only started seeing them maybe 10 or 15 years ago. Maybe not even that long ago.
Yeah, they've been down in South America where he's from.
Yeah.
They had this initiative where they wanted all of this stuff in every small town across the country, because they were trying to get fitness and stuff back. So they contracted a bunch of guys to build these things and start placing them in these like tiny towns.
But they're great because you have the running track or whatever, and then along the track you have like the little stations where you can go and do your workout.
So they don't do the running track; they literally just have the.
No, but I'm saying on the track is where they put those metal, those stations for working out. And if you have a track that's like 3/4 of a mile long or whatever, you'll have 8 to 10 stations to go to. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a cool concept.
Yeah, it is. It's a really neat idea.
Getting people back into fitness.
Yeah, well,
some
of us need it more than others.
Well, it's encouraging it, right? So like when you look at the culture down there versus up here, right? So I travel down there. We go down for probably a month every couple of years, right?
And this is Colombia.
Yeah. I can count the number of hours that I spend watching television while I'm down there.
Oh yeah, you told me this before. It's like zero almost, right?
Like
it's not a thing to them.
It's not a thing. Like not a thing at all.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's soccer matches and everybody will, right? But like I think during the entire time we were there for almost a month, and we rented an apartment because we were celebrating Christmas and everybody was there, right? So we rented an apartment, and the only time I had time to watch TV was when I took the girls back to bed and my wife stayed to continue conversations and stuff. And I would just throw something on the TV just because I was there by myself, right?
Right.
But the rest of the time you're there, you're hanging out with people, you're hanging out with family, you're hanging out with friends. You're leaving your house and going to the local park and getting ice cream. And so
wait. You're talking about stuff we all did before the internet.
Before television, even.
Well, right? Even with television, we still did all those things too, right? But before the internet, that's what we did as kids. You know what I mean? We went out and we did things. We were outside most of the day, and you know what we did? We met new people. We networked.
Even my little girls don't want to watch TV while we're there.
Cool.
Like my older one, we wake up in the morning and her first question is, can we walk to the bakery and get some breakfast?
Cool.
And I'm like,
absolutely.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do that. Right. But yeah, they barely watch TV either when they're there. They just like, they hang out, and like TV is tablets, any of that stuff is like a totally, secondary thing to them.
Very cool. That's awesome. Yeah.
But that's part of that culture though. Because like if you're hanging out at the park, that equipment is already there. So it fits into the culture.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we see it here just on a much smaller scale, I think. Like you still see people walking around the park and like doing things.
Yeah, no one ever uses the machines though. Very rarely do you see someone use the machines. I think they were a cool idea that people just haven't really caught on to yet.
Well, this is one of those where it may work in other countries, but not here.
Not here.
Right?
God forbid.
And I think it's also...
You know why? Because you don't have to pay for it. If it's something you have to pay for, I'm sure it would catch on.
Well, yeah. But yeah, it's interesting because I thought it was a cool concept when I first saw it down there, because they put it not just in the small towns. They also put it... So like they'll find where there's like 3 or 4 developments, and they'll put it right in the middle of them. So everybody in those developments could utilize them.
Sure.
And I was amazed, even when we were in the city, we would walk out there and walk past these things. There was always someone there. There was always somebody using that exercise equipment.
That's cool.
I was like, this is neat.
That's pretty cool.
But
all right, well, let's get into Reddit today. See what's going on. Right now we're in the subreddit business ideas. And again, for those of you on TikTok Live, you are more than welcome to submit some comments, and we will try to answer your questions. Again, about if you own a business, or you're starting a business, or you're just curious about business in general, leave us a comment and we'll question, and we'll be more than happy to take it live.
You're one of the 73% that wants to start a business,
but has no clue what to do. Yeah.
If you know someone that could benefit from this type of content, please share this podcast with them. Anybody that's starting out a business, having trouble with their business, there might be that one answer that they're looking for somewhere in one of our videos.
All right, so this is from efficient_builder923, who says, how do you usually respond to, quote, just a quick call? That's a great question. I know my answer. My answer is not good, but it says, when choosing a team communication app, look for features like real-time chat, video call, file sharing, and task integration to stream collaboration. Ensure it's user-friendly, supports both desktop and mobile. Good notification control and channel organization also helps teams stay focused and reduce noise. What he's getting at is, so there's two parts to it. There's the team environment, and then there's you as the individual.
Yep.
In the team environment, you're in the middle. Look, usually with the team environment, what happens is maybe once a day or a couple times a week, the teams will have a meeting, and in that meeting, they'll talk about their deliverables for that day or that week or whatever, and that's it. And then you go and you do your work, right? And you're in the middle of doing something, and someone either IMs you or calls you or says, hey, do you have a quick second? And the answer should be no, I'm working, get something go on my calendar, et cetera, et cetera. But we don't do that. At least I don't do that. It's like, sure, why not? Right? It's a good distraction from what I'm doing.
Well, it's what they used to call the water cooler talk.
Yeah, right.
Like you would catch someone as they were getting their cup of coffee, whatever, and have a quick chat, right?
Right.
But we've become so structured with a lot of the stuff that doesn't happen as much anymore, right? Especially with all this work from home and messengers and technology. Like you used to have to get up and walk to the person to ask the question.
Yep.
Now it's right? Send. Yeah. Or your phone, send, right? So it's constant harassment.
Yeah. Harassment's a very good
It is
word.
harassment, right? Because there's always a ding or a boink or whatever going off, right? So like we had the conversation at my office because we used to have weekly team meetings. And I say used to because we realized that when the entire team was on, at least three during every given meeting were there for no reason.
Oh, wow.
So we restructured how we do team meetings. So now we do group meetings instead of team meetings. So the entire team only meets once a month.
Okay.
And then the subgroups that are working on different, so like we have social media marketing here, website here, SEO here, and then there's teams under each. So the team leader will meet individually with each team rather than meeting with everybody. Yeah. Right. Like, because if we're talking SEO, the social media marketing,
they don't need to be there. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's good for them to listen in on certain things, which is why we still do the monthly. But no, we realized we were wasting valuable man hours where people could be productive.
Right. Elon Musk had a good idea with this. So in his company, what they do, or at least this is what he said. If you're in a meeting and you're not getting anything out of it, pack up your stuff and go. Just go back to your desk, because it's completely, and it's absolutely right. It's completely, how many meetings have we been in our lives where it's been like, I got nothing out of that meeting, but I wasted 2 hours in it.
My wife works for a Fortune 100 company, maybe Fortune 50. And sometimes when I'm home and she's like, hey, I got to take this meeting. And I'm like, okay. And I'll walk past her home office. She hasn't said a word. She hasn't said a word, right? And she's just standing there like dancing, doing, I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm on a meeting just waiting to see if my name gets brought up.
Yep.
And I'm like, you don't even know if you have to be on this meeting? Like, you don't know if you have anything to contribute?
Right.
And she's like, well, most of this stuff doesn't refer to me. So, and I'm like, this is exactly why it should be broken down.
What a waste.
From teams to groups, right? Because she's standing there for 45 minutes. And I had to join a corporate call the other day. And about 20 minutes into it, I was ready to tear my hair out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know why are we going through this procedural stuff? Like, we just wasted 20 minutes that I could have been doing something else.
Yep.
Right. And I'm like, we're here to get something specific done. Just focus on that and then over and out.
Yeah.
Right. Like a 55-minute meeting could have been 20 minutes.
So now on the other side, for the individual, like if you have a small business, maybe it's just you and a couple of people or whatever, it's not really a matter of teams. You'll be sitting there doing your work and the phone rings and you answer it. Yep. It's like, hey, I'm a new prospective customer. Do you have a minute for a call? It would be nice to say, not right now. Why don't we schedule some time? But how do you do? How do you tell a prospective customer, oh no, I can't take your call right now? You know what they're going to do? They're going to call somebody else, right? But then it interrupts your day and your workflow. So for me as an attorney, it happened again yesterday. I'm in the middle of working on a client's contract. I think it was a contract. Yeah, it was a contract. And the phone rings. Now it's the end of the day. No one else is here. So I answer it. Hey, blah, blah, blah. Someone gave me your name. So I'm on the phone with them for 45 minutes, which is great because it's a new customer or new client, but I still don't. So I have to get that contract done.
We've actually come up with a process where when a new prospect calls, we have a certain set of questions we ask them so that we can start doing some research on them. And then once those questions are answered, we literally ask them, hey, can you give us a day or two to kind of do our homework so that we're not just having a conversation about nothing? Because we can roll around in guesses all day. It's not going to help you, right? And can I get you on the calendar in like 2 days at this time, right? So we never spend 45 minutes or an hour anymore, or very rarely, with someone on the phone during that first call, because once we kind of explain to them the process, they understand that we have to do some homework before we can give any type of, intellectual guidance or
that's a good idea.
Process
and that'll work for a lot of businesses. Unfortunately, in my business, the legal world, that won't work. Everybody wants to tell their story. They want to tell the entire, and if you don't hear every word of that story, they don't think you got it. They don't think you understand what's going on.
So but as far as like this, just a quick call comment, right? I don't really get a ton of that anymore. Because I will tell people, like, if it's something that can wait, just email me. If it's something that needs to be dealt with right now, that's the only time we do just a quick call.
Okay.
Right. So other than that, it's an email because I'm out of the office. I don't know, 30 hours out of the week, right? Not just golfing.
But golfing.
But golfing.
Especially now with the weather getting nicer.
Yeah. So like a lot of things are either an email or a text, and it's only a call if it has to be dealt with now. Other than that, everything is an email or a Teams message that can be dealt with whenever.
Very cool. So efficient_builder923. How do you respond? I guess it depends on your business. Depends on your personality.
Depends on who's asking.
Depends on who's asking,
for the quick call.
Yeah. If it's a team member, I have no problem saying, put it on my calendar. We'll talk later on. Can't be that urgent, unless I say it's urgent. If it is a new customer, though, I gotta take that call. I'm taking that call every time.
New customers know. I'm taking the call every time.
Right? But I like your idea of trying to get some basic, maybe they get a 10 or 15 minute call, get some basic information, and then, hey, how about we schedule something for later?
Yeah, it's just worked better for us because, like, if you're in the middle of working on something and someone calls, not only is your train of thought totally disrupted with what you're working on, you're not necessarily in the mindset to talk to that new customer about what their real issue is.
Exactly.
Right? So, which is why we always try to get that first call and then book the second call. I mean, we've done it. I've gotten a call at 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning, and I booked it for 4 o'clock that afternoon. Right. It was just, I just need.
Yeah, you can't do it at that moment in time.
Correct,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I need to look, and we also need to look at their business, their website. Like, there's stuff we look at before we have the full conversation with them.
You know, we've tried, and I try it, and I swear one day it will work. Is I try to put aside time slots. So 9 to noon is work. If calls come in, assistant takes the calls and schedules something for later on. And then in the afternoon, like say from 3 to 5 is when I'll take the new calls and I'll talk to new people or whatever. But I'm just trying. We got to have that time where we can get the work done versus the talking to existing customers and then talking to new calls that come in.
Yeah, I have mine blocked out that way.
Yeah. I try. It doesn't work.
Oh, it works.
It works.
Well,
but
it works
work
for me because like when someone calls, like very few people have my actual like cell number, for example. So most people end up calling the office and someone there will answer the call.
That's my mistake.
And then they will funnel it. Like if it's a has to be dealt with now, they will forward it to my phone. If it's a can be dealt with later, they just take a message and send it to me.
Yeah.
And they know to ask and look at my calendar and ask, hey, would tomorrow be fine? Looks like he has plenty of time, right?
People think I'm crazy because I give all of my clients my cell phone number. It's on my business card. And they do. They say, oh, how can you do that? People are going to call you all the time. Yeah. And they do. And that's okay. I don't mind it too much, but that's why that's what interrupts my work process is that if it's the office line, someone else can pick it up. But if it's my cell phone, it's just me.
But let's be real, right? You are in an industry where I may need to call you because I got arrested.
Yeah, I don't do criminal law, but sure.
Right.
Or something urgent is going on.
Correct. Right. So,
which I've had. I've plenty of times.
I can't tell you the last time we had an urgency with an SEO problem.
Yeah.
Right? Because nothing happens fast.
Google isn't picking us up. What's going on? Oh my God.
Like, so I'm not really in the emergency or potential emergency business.
Yeah.
Like it happens, but very, very, very rarely. Yeah. So like I have the luxury of funneling how our communication works and who can reach me at what times and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
I would say the emergencies for us, because we're business attorneys, the emergencies for us is when someone just had an argument with somebody else and they're saying they're going to sue you for breach of contract or something like that. At that point, the clients, everything's, oh my God, I have to deal with this right this second because I don't know what to do.
Or there's an HR issue.
Or it's an HR issue.
Like, that has to be dealt with
quite often. Yep.
Right now.
Yep.
Like, I just had an employee do X, Y, Z. What do I do?
Yeah.
Right. And that can't wait 3 days.
No.
Right.
No.
So that has to be dealt with now.
So things like that happen. So anyway, that's I guess a couple of different ways to responding to quick calls, the quick call syndrome, so to speak. So great question. Thank you very much. And so let's move on to now we're under startup ideas. Okay, so we're kind of shopping around today.
You're jumping.
Well, Ethan set these up. So
oh, he did.
Yeah. He gave me some good ones to start working with today because we didn't have a lot of time. So just so you guys know, it's gonna be a little bit of a shorter episode. Only be a little over an hour. We usually do about an hour and a half, but things. So
life, work, golf.
Our ad 2206 says, how do you validate a startup idea while working full time? This is a good one. We've talked about this before, but no, this is a good one. I'm working as a B2B software product manager in a company full-time in Germany. I'm interested in starting something on my own and have a few ideas that I worked on. Since I love working on the technical side, I created side coding projects related to those ideas. But I need validation from the customer or market that it's worth building to keep building on. But the dilemma that I face is that how do I approach this process? How to test the waters when I'm working full-time? Would potential customers take me seriously if they knew I'm working full-time somewhere else? They could easily find out by checking my LinkedIn account. I would like to know how you guys tread this path. I know what you're going to say because it's the same thing I'm going to say, which is, well, actually, let me say what I'm going to say and see if you agree.
Okay.
Because we talked about this before. Make your MVP, your minimal viable product, right? Make your MVP. Get some, you don't need a lot of marketing, get some marketing behind it, maybe a little website or something like that, and get it out there and take deposits. See if people are going to pay you for this software, right? Tell them that if the software is going to be $100 in the end, take a $10 deposit, a $20 deposit. See if people are going to be willing to pay you for using this software based off of what you say it's going to be able to do.
Right.
And if people start paying you for it and giving you money, then it's something that people are going to like. Because too many people say, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, you should go and do that. And then when it actually comes out, no one actually buys it. But if people are willing to give you money before the product's even out there, every one of them is worth 100 people that say, what a wonderful idea.
Yeah. So first of all, to tackle his challenge, nobody needs to know that it's you. You can set up a business name, and in the About Us section, you can write the most generic crap that you can write. So nobody needs to know that it's your face behind the business or that you're the only one there. Right. There's also another way to validate this. There are websites out there that do like software where you get like free lifetime access to a software for $1,000 or $500, whatever it is. That's a great place to test it, to see if anybody there is even interested in the product, right? Because once again, it's a very soft way to separate, you know, money from the person, right? Another thing you could do is like find someone that needs this software and just explain the situation and see if they're willing to be your beta tester, right? That also becomes your first testimonial of a functioning product. So there's lots of ways to tackle this. And at the end of the day, I get it's a B2B software and you might have to be available to troubleshoot during the day. But with technology nowadays, and if you're just upfront with the customers, I don't see this being an issue at all.
No, either. And
if it's an issue, he's in Germany. So there's a time zone difference, right? So make your first customer in a different time zone.
When you're not working.
Correct, right? Like make it the US or Asia, someone that's 4 hours ahead of you or 4 hours behind you, right? Now you're going to have 4 hours either before work or after work to tackle any problems. And the customer just has to know that, you know, the first 4 hours of his workday or the last 4 hours are going to be the time where you can't respond to it. But like, just be upfront about it. I shouldn't say nobody cares. There's going to be people that care, but there's going to be people that are even more excited to get in on the ground floor and help you develop this.
I agree. It's interesting that he's more concerned about the customer knowing that he works than the employer knowing that he's building this software behind their backs. That's a different story.
What he does in his own time is his time, right?
Sure. I guess it's Germany. I don't think they have like moonlighting clauses and things like that in Europe, right?
Probably not.
Yeah, they probably don't have that. So in the US here, sometimes we have what are called moonlighting clauses in contracts where you're not allowed to work sometimes outright. You're not allowed to work outright after hours, and they put that in the employment contract. But usually, if there is a moonlighting clause, it's you can work after hours as long as it's not for somebody who competes against us or in a similar industry. So if he's building software for one company, he wouldn't be allowed to build software for another company. Again, that's here in the US where we have sometimes ridiculous rules for things. We're always trying to keep people from working for some reason. I don't know why.
Did I ever tell you the story when I came here? When we first opened the business in the US?
Maybe, but try it again.
So our contract back home, right?
Yep.
Was literally a single page that had all of the customer information, us, the deliverable, the price, and all the terms. There was literally 7 terms, our entire contract.
Okay.
And that was sufficient for what we needed there. I took that same contract to an attorney in the US and he goes, "We're going to have to work on this." And I'm like, "What do you mean work on it?" He's like, "Give me a week and I'll send an updated version back to you." And I literally got back.
How many dozens of pages?
No, it was a 7-page document or a 4-page document, font size 6.
Yep.
I was like, "What's this?" He's like, "You know how you guys use common sense law? So like if you put something in a contract, common sense applies, right?" He's like, "That does not apply here." He's like, "If it's not written out specifically, it doesn't apply." So my literally 5-line contract turned into like 6 pages worth of stuff. I was like, damn. And people just sign this? And he goes, "Most people don't even read it.
They just sign it. Yeah, they have no clue. This is really a shame too, is I always, obviously I advise against that. And even with my clients that want me to draft employment agreements for them, I try to make it a reasonable agreement. I try not to sometimes they do say, no, I want this, this, and this, and that's what you got to do. So be it. But when they're open and they're like, what's the best approach? It's like, you got to do what's good for your employees too. You know, help them out a little bit.
Should be a balance, right?
It should be a balance. Yeah. So anyway, our ad 2206, that's, those are some ways that you can, validate this idea. Again, if you can separate people from their money for your product, you're going in the right direction.
Yeah. You have a viable product at that point in time.
Yeah. Now the question that you should be
asking doesn't necessarily mean that there's a full scale market there.
Yeah.
That's the other part you have to look at. Right?
So that's kind of what I was going to get at. The next question you should be asking yourself is, well, when do I go from being a full-time employee and building this on the side to swapping those two, or just leaving employment and focusing on this full time? Yeah. And that's where you start looking at projections and financials and, what your personal where you are personally right now. And then
that's why business plans are important.
Business plans are very important.
It forces you to look at what is the market size, how many could I potentially sell? Like what would be my, my entry to market? What could potentially be my market share in this market?
Right.
And that gives you an idea of what the company ultimately could do as far as revenue.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, they're all projections, but the more you start looking into the numbers, the more realistic sense you get for how big your market is, or for how much income you could make off the software.
Right. Yeah. So, all right. Best of luck to you. Again, leave us comments and let us know what's going on. I'm kind of curious what the software is, but let us know what happens.
Well, you're always curious about software.
I love the software. I love software. I want to know what it's written in. I want to know what tools he used, what SDK he used, what API integration. I want to know all that stuff.
Here we go. I'm going to start ringing the bell anytime you go off on software.
Why? I love software.
I know. I love franchising.
It's like you and franchising. I know. All right. So this is OK-engineering-8369, who says, I am struggling to manage remote teams. Any advice? Here's the situation. I have one team member who was constantly missing deadlines, just one. So I thought, let's do more check-ins, just quick, regular chats to stay on top of things, and it genuinely improved their productivity. I tried the same approach with the new hire, more check-ins, more chats, definitely thought it would keep them focused. But during one call, they tell me, can I be honest with you? And I was like, of course. They said, these frequent check-ins are kind of throwing me off. I get distracted with all the pings. Okay, fair enough, I thought. But then another team member says, I feel like I'm not getting enough feedback. I need more guidance and support to stay on track. Now I'm completely lost. What you realize is that people are different.
Yes. Is that there is not a one size fits all.
No.
Even the thing that says one size fits all does not fit all, right?
It does not.
This is where knowing your team is so important.
Yes.
Right? Like, who do I need to leave alone to get the most productivity out of? And who do I need to push? Right. So, and I have that. I have a guy. If I don't check in with him daily to go over what has to be done for the day, half of it will possibly be done.
Right.
Right. And I say possibly half because that's like a overestimate of it.
Yeah.
Right. Except when he gets a dev project where he has to code, I need to leave him alone for this, right?
Like he's got to be in the zone.
I check in on him, and if he just tells me I'm working on it, I leave him alone till the project's done.
Do you know about the zone?
Yeah.
You know the zone?
Yeah, we all get it for different things. I get it like when I'm writing. Like
yeah, sure.
I wrote my first book. I literally sat down and I wrote it in 3.5 days.
Wow.
And I basically just sat there for 3.5 days and like in the same chair. And I got up to go to the bathroom, eat, and get some sleep. But other than that, it just flowed.
That is focus. My gosh.
But yeah, and then I have another one that, like, I think I talked to her 5 weeks ago. Like, I just don't.
Maybe.
Like, I don't even remember.
Stuff just keeps coming in. I'm assuming she's still alive.
and the stuff is getting done. And like every once in a while, I'll get a question. And I'm like, I just know that the more I leave her alone, the better quality work I get.
Yeah. Right.
And she just does her thing. I don't care whether she works from 8 to 5 or 10 to 7 or, 4 hours today and 12 hours tomorrow. Like if we have a baseline for, hey, these are the things that need to be delivered at those dates, if they're being delivered, more power to you.
Yeah.
Like if you do it in 11 hours instead of 16, go find something else to do with your 5 hours, right? Like that's kind of how it functions. But it's also because I know that if it's crunch time, she'll drop everything else and focus just on the crunch time stuff, right? Like it's very much a back and forth and understanding each of your employees, how they function, how you get the best performance out of them, how to communicate with them, right? Because it's the same thing like if you get into explaining something to someone, right? For some people, you just have to go, look, that's all you need to do. And they go, okay. And then they just know, right? But for someone else, you might have to go into more details. Like you have to take the thing, you got to lift it up, you got to show it to the customer, right? And then you got to put it back down and then get eye contact again, right? Like
I'll give you a great example of that, where there's multiple types of people that do various forms of this, but it really comes down to two different types. The person who has a bunch of tasks, so let's say there's a bunch of tasks that need to be done, and there's no one has set a priority on them, right? There's really two types of people. One person will look at the tasks and say, okay, I'm going to do this first, and then this, and then this, and then another person will look at it and be completely overwhelmed and not know what to do first, and they'll freeze, and they'll just they will literally do nothing because they don't know what to do first.
Don't forget about the third person, because that's the ADHD like me. That'll work on four of the things simultaneously.
Yeah, you and me both. Right, that's true. Right? I didn't think about that. You're right.
We don't prioritize. We just
do.
Yeah.
We just a little of this one, a little of that one. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So it comes down to the individual's personality, right? So like as you see here, some people need that constant. Okay, what am I doing now? Okay, what am I doing now? Okay, what am I doing now? And other people are like, I got it. I'm good. I'll get back to you when I need you.
It's the same thing. Like for certain employees, the stick works better than the carrot.
Yeah.
For others, the carrot works better than the stick, right? Sometimes suggesting something to an employee works great, and sometimes reprimanding them works great.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just a matter of what they respond to. And of course, you as the individual, when you manage people, that is 100% of your job, is learning about different personalities, understanding the people, how they respond, how they work the best, how do you get the most out of them?
Yeah.
And how do they get the most out of you too? Like that's, to me, is the key component here.
Yep.
Is if one employee says, hey, I need more frequent check-ins, you should be like, absolutely. How often do you want to do them?
Right.
Right. While the guy that says, hey, these frequent check-ins are kind of annoying me, same question. How often do you want me to check in?
And that's your job as their manager to do that. Exactly.
100%.
Yeah. Some people might think, oh, that's annoying that I have. No, that's your job as a manager, is to basically, the way I always phrase it is, you want to put your people in the best position to succeed, right? It's like when someone comes in and you hire them for a job and you realize early on they're not very good at that job, but they might be really good at this job, and maybe move them over. Don't fire them, move them over to that position. And if they're better at that, let them do that. Put your people in a position to succeed. And if you have to bite the bullet and have a timer or something on your or alarm, whatever, on your phone to know it's time to check in with Bill, check in with Bill. That's your job.
That's your job. Right? Like people think, I think that some people that get put into managerial position think that it's their job to oversee a project, right? When I think it's more about
or people
productivity.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you look at it rather than a project, instead look at it as productivity. The question now becomes, how do I get people more productive? Right. And if you answer that question, and if you ask the employee that question, you might be surprised that they give you two totally completely different answers.
Sure.
One might say, hey, occasionally I need a 12-hour day. Why? Because I get in the zone. And once I'm there, I don't clock out at 5. Right. I keep going till 9. I need to know that that's okay. Right. Because at the end of the day, the vast majority of us that work like desk jobs and stuff like that, don't need to be 9 to 5.
No.
Right? Like a lot of times it's funny because I had a graphic designer the one time he had come in for like 2 or 3 days in a row and gotten absolutely nothing done. Right? And I'm like, dude, like we have deadlines. He's like, can I force you to be creative during a certain time?
Right.
And I'm like, no. And he's like, I'm just in a slump right now. He's like, I'm trying to do what I can. He's like, but I'm just not. So I asked him, like, what inspires you? And he's like, I don't know, the art museum. And I'm like, here's $50, go. Yeah. Like the train station's right up the street, right? And he was like, what? I'm like, if that's what inspires you, that's where I need you to be right now, because you are doing absolutely nothing for my business, sitting here staring at the screen. Yeah. Like it's not helpful at all, right? And that's when he realized that he needed more of that, right? So he started putting it on his schedule to actually go to like the Mercer Museum and the Philadelphia Art Museum and go out and like, he would even go to like farmers markets to check out like the art people's booths and stuff.
It was, and it would inspire him.
Correct. Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But if it wasn't for that conversation, he probably wouldn't have realized it. Right. And I would have not gotten my great graphic designer back for a few days.
So we got a message here from TikTok world. Thank you, TikTok. This is from Donnie. Donnie says, that's why having a daily Scrum meeting is productive. Put everybody on the spot at the same time. So yeah, I mean, depending on your business, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So for my coders, that's what we do. We have a daily Scrum meeting. Absolutely. For a variety of reasons. Number one, not just what you're doing, but what is everybody else doing, and everyone can understand what everybody else is working on, because sometimes what happens is there's some overlap, and either they can work on it together, or, oh, you're doing that, then I don't need to do it, blah, blah, blah. Or what also happens is you're only up to this point. Well, then I can't do this yet, because I'm waiting for you to finish that. And they might not know it because they don't always work, in the same, sometimes if they're working remotely or something, they might not work in the same building or whatever. Correct. So yeah, daily Scrum meetings can be very important and very productive.
It all comes down to what industry you're in, how do your teams work, how good is your project management system? Yeah. Right? How much are people communicating just internally? Like how much is person A talking to person B to backing each other up to make sure that they're at the same places at the same time, right? Because that's another thing that we discovered is there wasn't enough communication between one of our graphic designers and the social media person. She would have all copy ready and expected the graphic designer to get all the graphics done in 2 days, right?
Oh gosh, no.
And then we're like, that doesn't work, no, right? Like you're. So once again, it all depends. So rather than her, she would do, 30 days worth of social media posts and get everything over to the graphic designer at the same time. Right. So one of the things we broke up is now she sends it in sets of 10.
Okay.
Right.
Gives them time to start working on it while she's doing the other ones.
So the first 10 are, and it streamlined everything, and it allowed the graphic designer to easily go through, because if he was creating 30 graphics at a time, we would lose him for an entire day. Sure. Right. When he's only doing 10, it's a couple of hours.
Couple of hours, you get them
back.
But
it streamlined the process. So I think a big part of it is also look at your project management systems and look at your workflow and processes, because a lot of times, especially if you have consistent issues, right? Like if there's always the same issues, it's a process problem, not a people problem.
Right.
Right.
And so now on the legal side of my companies, right, on the law side, daily scrums would not be necessary. But we do twice a week though. We do twice a week. We get together. We go over the project, all the projects that we're doing, just to see where everybody's at. So daily's unnecessary in that case, but definitely twice a week, and it's the same kind of thing.
You gotta just figure out what works for your business and for your teams.
So, Donnie, thank you very much. Appreciate the comment. Anybody else? By all means, add some more comments. So, OK Engineering 8369. I get it. The remote teams are tough, but you're the manager, and it's up to you to understand each team member's individual personality. and how you can get the most productivity out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And like we said, sometimes it's being on top of them, sometimes it's leaving them alone,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it's somewhere in between.
Yeah.
So that's your goal. Your goal is to figure out who these people are and how you can motivate them the best. All right, good luck to you. Let's see. I'm gonna skip that one. Let's go over here. Oh, okay.
Host is awaiting moderator approval.
Wait, hold on. This is under entrepreneur subreddit. It says ghost_night17 is learning to code a useful skill.
And then the post is waiting for.
Well, the moderator's hasn't approved it yet, but somehow we're still seeing it.
We can just answer that question.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Let's move on. No, seriously, no. Absolutely, it's a useful skill. It's a useful skill for a variety of reasons. I mean, first off, don't ring the bell. They asked. I didn't start this comment. Right. The number one, learning to code it will open up your mind to a variety of logic, right? Because when you're coding, people that don't code don't understand. There is a set of logical puzzles that you're solving. Realistically, is what you're doing.
It's the same question as, is it worth it to learn math?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, this is more extensive than that. But I think coding should be a base skill that we bring into schools at this point in time, because it just teaches you so many different things, right? Like, I remember when I coded my first game, right? And I'm reading this book, and they're like, oh, here are the different commands you have to put in and why they have to go in. And it just made me look at things from a different perspective.
It does.
Right? Probably one of the best things I ever did. And like, this is back in Commodore age, right? Like,
I know,
Atari.
I was there. Yeah.
The very first computer that I programmed anything on was a BASF.
Wow. Commodore 64 for me.
But yeah, the skill set, I shouldn't say necessarily the skill set. It's more the thought process.
Yes, that's exactly right. It's the thought process. It changes the way you think slightly, and it helps. It's really good.
Yes, it turns you more analytical, and I think it helps you problem solve better.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can't assume where the problem is, right? Like, you have to go backwards and work your way through it to find where the problem is.
Yeah.
Right. So
years ago, this guy that I worked with, his name was Steve. He was a developer for many years longer than I was, and I love the way he described it. He described it as making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Right. He said, if you're going to learn to code, and this is what he would do with like new coders. Okay, describe to me what it takes to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And inevitably they would say, well, you get some bread, peanut butter and jelly. He goes, nope, that's not it. He goes, well, where do you get the bread from? Well, you get it from the cabinet. Okay, well, how do you get to the cabinet? Well, you got to walk over to it. How do you open the cabinet? And he's like, that's the problem. You walk over to the cabinet, open the door, put your hand out, open the door, right? Look for the peanut butter, look for the bread, pull the bread out, open take the thing off the top of the bread, open the bread, pull the pieces of bread out, put them on a plate, go over, find the peanut butter, unscrew the peanut butter jar, find the knife, et cetera, et cetera.
Make sure bread not moldy.
Make sure bread not, if moldy, throw away.
Right? Like,
or get new bread, right? So, I mean, that's what coding is. Coding, okay, and another friend of mine, Ken, always says, computers have an IQ of exactly 0. They have no IQ whatsoever. They will only do what you tell them to do.
Yes.
And that's what coding is. Coding is telling a computer step by step, and I literally mean step by step, what to do. It doesn't know any better otherwise, right? So that's why it's such a great skill, because you learn how to break everyday problems down to their minuscule tasks, one step at a time to fix that problem. And that's what I was saying earlier about it being logic problems. You learn how to problem solve better than anything else in the world will teach you.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's such a useful skill.
It was funny because when I was working with the developers, my question was always to them, what happens when it fails?
Right.
And they go, what do you mean? It's just supposed to work. I'm like, I get that.
I know it's supposed to.
It's supposed to, right? But what happens if it fails?
Right.
If a customer is in the middle of booking their dream vacation and it fails at the rental car page, then what? And they go, what do you mean, then what? It's not supposed to fail.
Right.
I know it's not supposed to, right? But what happens if, right? And if it's one thing I learned over time is that developers do not like if statements.
No. Well, I mean, we love if statements, but
but they hate it when it's
nested.
Correct.
Yeah.
If goes wrong,
right,
then what, right? But it was very interesting for me because I understood the basics of coding, and my question was always the when it breaks part.
Right.
Like I need a fail safe in every step of the process because, like in our industry, if I lose you off a website and you don't complete the checkout process,
right,
like
what happens?
I've lost you, right? You've now moved on to something else. So like I need to make sure that even if it fails, do we have an email that goes to the customer immediately? Do we save it? Do we auto save their trip every 2 seconds? Right? Like so that we just recognize their IP when they come back in, the trip's already at the point. Like
yep.
It was all those things. But a lot of the guys that I was working with, the developers, weren't thinking of those things. They were just thinking of how do I get this process to complete 100% every time? Okay, so let's assume it's a 98% success rate, right?
That's good.
It's pretty good, right?
Yep.
I worried about those other 2% because those 2%, we don't. It's like the stock market, right? What's the saying? If you would have lost out on the 10 best trading days,
right?
Like you would have lost money instead of made money in the market, right? Like it's some ridiculous stat. And it's the same thing. Like we don't know if those 2% were the $40,000 trips they were booking instead of the $400 flights.
Right.
Right. So like we need to secure those 2%. We can't lose those trading days.
So here's the bigger well, this is one of the things in software that non-software people don't understand. I know you understand it, but most people that are not in software don't understand. There is no such thing as a developer in software, right? Let's say you want to hire a developer to build your website. Okay, you get a single developer. Okay, great. They go and they build your website. Well, what's that website sitting on? Well, it's sitting on a hosting platform somewhere. Well, who built that?
Yep.
Right. Well, this company built it. Well, who built the operating system behind it? Right. Who built the network connectivity between the computer and the internet? Right. And who built this and who? There are so many different levels of software along the way. Yep. Any one of them can fail at any time and has nothing to do with your software developer.
It's one of those things that, like, I get asked a lot, who owns the website? Right. And I go, well, you own it, but we host it. And they're like, can I move it at any time? And I'm like, yes, you can move it. I can't guarantee that it'll work because, like, if they're not running Redis or if they're running a different cache
different
software,
OS or something like that, don't have the database set up properly.
You can't just, go get some AWS space and dump it on there. You're going to need something to run it on.
Yep.
Right? You can't take it to a Windows platform, right? Like, so who owns it? You do, but it's needs to be transferred to something that that'll work, right? And that has nothing to do with the website itself. It has to do with all the underlying software that is behind the website, right?
And people don't recognize that. And I understand because they haven't coded before. They don't get it.
Do you know how often someone does a plugin update and it makes a different plugin fail?
Everything shuts down.
And you're like, what the hell?
How many times? WordPress is a perfect example of this. WordPress, look, for all the people that talk bad on WordPress, as a developer, sometimes it has its issues. I get it, but WordPress is a great starting point for developers. The problem is when WordPress updates. 90% of things shut down sometimes. So you'll have plugins that aren't compatible with the new version. The whole site just shuts down.
Even worse, when PHP updates. Like, what was it? Yeah. Was it from 5 to 6? I mean, it took a while.
There was one major update that just everybody, because what they did was they deprecated they deprecated the functions in the previous version, and then they removed, meaning that they had new functions that would overwrite, but they kept the old ones. And then in a major switch to a new, I think it was 6 to 7, they did this. I could be wrong. They removed the functions entirely, and thousands and thousands of PHP sites started going down.
Oh yeah,
everywhere.
We lost,
because functions were gone.
I think we lost 70 sites that we had to like scramble to get back up and functioning. And yeah, it was bad.
I know.
But once again, it was nothing we did.
Nothing you did,
right?
No. So anyway, Ghost Knight, Ghost Knight 1.7. Yes. Coding is a useful skill.
Yeah.
Not so much that you're going to be a coder. Maybe you will. Congratulations, that'd be great. But not so much that, hey, I'm going to be a coder, I'm going to make money off of it. But I promise you, it will change the way you look at the world. It really will, because you will learn problem solving skills that you can't learn anywhere else.
There's a lot of skills that, like, I think everybody should learn basic woodworking too.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Right? I love it.
I think people should learn the basics of electricity, like even if it's just being able to swap out an outlet, right? Because it makes you realize that how things function around your house, right?
Yeah, it's very true. It's funny because I see younger people, people in like their 20s and early 30s that weren't taught how to do things like that, and they look at these things like they're magical.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it like, just unscrew it, plug in new power, and boom, done. But they've never done it before, and they're
so my uncle, well, he's not my uncle, he's my aunt's husband, right? Is one of the leading Oracle database specialists on the planet.
Very cool.
Right? Like he's the guy they call when the experts can't figure it out.
Okay.
Right? Like he's that guy.
That's
right?
cool.
He can't hang a picture on the wall. Like, I kid you not,
Not
right?
straight anyway, right?
No, not straight. He can't swing a hammer. He can't. And it was funny because him and some family members, they bought a cabin, right? So it was time to do some work on the cabin. So his brother's a carpenter. They're basically all tradesmen except him.
Yeah.
So he goes, yep, no, I'm going with them to work on this. And I'm like, what is your job going to be? And he goes, cooking, sweeping, and cleaning up. And he's like, and I know it going in there, right? There's no computers there, so they don't need my skill set other than that, right? But he'll tell you flat out, like, he doesn't know how to use a drill. He doesn't use any of that stuff. But dude, if it's Oracle related or programming related,
he's got it. He's the man.
He's the man.
That's funny.
I remember the story he told me once. He was in Denmark at a conference. And I think it was the Danish hospital system.
Yeah.
Right. So they stop the conference and a guy comes out and says, is there anybody here that knows DOS? And then they named like 2 other things, right? And there were 2 people in the entire audience that raised their hand.
DOS. Wow.
Him and his old teacher.
Wow.
But yeah, he started in DOS. Like he started, this is like early 90s.
Yeah.
And he went through all of it, right? Like, so he was familiar with all of it. But in a room of like 700 programmers, there were 2 people. And he was one of them.
That's
right?
crazy.
Like, it's insane.
It's crazy that there were only 2 people to me. Because I mean, I used DOS for years.
It is, but it was because
DOS, Unix. I mean, I used all those things.
It had something to do with the other 2 that they needed to be familiar with as well, because they were going through a transition into a new system. So part of it was running on an old system, part of it was running in a new,
All right. Let's see. This is from RVIFUX. Sure. Make of that what you will. Says low self-confidence entrepreneur. Are you a successful entrepreneur that has started with low confidence? How did you manage? I need testimonial to cheer me up. I managed to do things I would not believe I could do several months ago, but it's so tough. I don't feel I'm building I don't feel like I'm building up confidence. How did you do it?
Fake it.
Yeah, but you fake it in front of other people.
Correct.
But for yourself,
so
how do you? That's a good question. Yeah.
I remember this back when I started selling websites back in the day, right? Like the programmers were certain of their skills, right? So I would go out and I would sell something and I would come back with it and they would go, that can't be done. I'm like, it can't be done, or we just haven't done it yet.
Right.
Right. So anytime, like, they were confident in the skill set that they had, but anytime I threw a curveball at them, it was like, well, no, that can't be done. We can't do this. Right. And guess what? We delivered every single project that I sold. Right.
Right.
But it was that they were confident, they knew their skill set. Right. But anybody that is facing a new skill set that they have to learn is going to lack confidence. And the reason you lack confidence is because you haven't done it.
Yeah.
Right? The more you do it, the more confident you get. So if you are an entrepreneur and you haven't learned bookkeeping, you're not going to be really confident about your business because, well, I don't know anything about bookkeeping. Well, guess what? You're going to go learn. Well, I don't know anything about sales. Well, guess what? You're going to go learn. You're not going to have high confidence in anything you take on until you get to a point where you've done the reps, right? Like, you don't go to the gym once and go, yeah, right? Oh, I got a six pack. No, right? And you don't feel confident in the gym after going there once,
right,
or even twice, right? But once you've been going for 6 months or a year, oh, you strut in there like you own the place, right? So I think what people underestimate with the entrepreneurial journey is the fact that there are so many new things thrown at us, like constantly while we're starting up. And it's hard to be super confident when all you have in front of you is stuff you don't know.
Right? True. No, it's true.
It's your willingness to go learn it that builds the confidence. That's what an entrepreneur is the ability to take on the stuff that they don't know and then just go do it and eventually become confident about it. Like,
so those words you said, just go do it. That's it for me. That was always my mentality. So when I was in the military, we used to have this saying, just put your head down and march, right? If it's like, if you're going on a 20-mile hike or whatever you're doing, doesn't matter. Put your head down and just go.
It's one step at a time.
It's one step at a time.
Right?
Right? Just watch your feet if you have to. And it's the same thing here. There have absolutely been times early in my career when I was running my own business where it was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I don't know if this is going to work, and I was just like, I don't care. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to get through it and blah, blah, blah. And it inevitably works itself out. It does, right? As long as you do a good job and you take care of your customers, it'll eventually work itself out.
Yeah.
And there will be times where you'll be like, oh man, I'm never going to be able to do this, or this isn't for me, or, and maybe that's true. Maybe at some point you'll realize that, I can't do this. But if you keep pushing yourself through, you will get through it and you'll build that confidence over time.
I always like the I can't do this yet, or I don't know this yet. Right. And even if I can't do it, then the question becomes, okay, if for any reason I'm not able to do it, right? Be it physically, whatever, is there someone I can hire to do it?
Right.
Right. Because then I don't have to have the confidence. I just have to have the understanding that I need someone else to do this part of it, right? Like, we talked about this before. Like, I've done my own bookkeeping, right? I suck at it, right? So I hired someone to do it, right? I have never built a complete website in my life.
Really?
I don't think so. Let me think back. Maybe like I built one in like Front Page back in the late 90s.
Front Page. Wow, that brings back memories.
I know, right? But I that's not my expertise when it comes to the marketing and web stuff, right? Like, if I had to build a website, could I muddle my way through it? Yeah. Would it look the best? Probably not. Right? Could I do it if I absolutely had to? Yes. I probably have enough.
With the back end?
Not from scratch, right? Like, I wouldn't code a website from scratch, right? But I could get a website up and running for someone, be it using Squarespace or WordPress or like whatever, right? But I have never built a complete site, and we've been a website design company for 20 years.
Yeah.
Right?
That's why I hire people to do it for you.
Correct. Am I confident in my skill set to build a website? Absolutely not. Right? Like, no, I am not confident at all.
Right.
Am I confident in selling it? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We can sell it all day long.
Yeah.
That guy's great at building websites. Let me sell him to you. Let me sell his work to you. So, confidence is a thing, and you just got to push through those times of doubt. And honestly, take the little successes along the way. What are the little things you've done? Like if you don't have a big success, look at the little ones. What are the little things you've done that you can say you're proud of? And look back to them. Say, hey, look, I did that. Why can't I do this?
I remember celebrating going from 3,000 to 5,000 in average sales a month, right? Like that was a huge step. And then going from 5 to 7.
Yeah.
Right. And then when it started, now it became, okay, how much did I grow year over year? Right? Was it 10%? Was it 20%? Like that's where I started looking at the little victories. Because if my numbers were growing, that meant whatever I was doing it well.
Right.
Because otherwise the numbers should have been going down. So like for me, that was the thing that I was like, oh, great. Sales were up 15% year over year. That's great when you're starting out, right? Like that, because you're still doing everything, right? So like, it's not like you have 100% of your time to dedicate to sales.
Right. Yeah.
I agree with you. Find the little victories, right? Like, what are you able to do today that you weren't able to do a month ago or a year ago, right? Because if you weren't able to do it a year ago and you can do it now, you can be pretty confident that you can do it now.
You should be proud of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So RVIFUX, however you say it, good luck to you. Stay in there, man. You'll be fine.
100%.
Just look through those little victories and you'll be good. All right. Unfortunately, we got to cut a little short today because, life, work, stuff gets annoying. Golf. Are you golfing later on?
No, I got a whole shipment of Arnie Palmers
oh my God.
coming in that I have to go pick up.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I had them custom
for our
ordered.
non-sponsor Arizona iced tea.
Yes, I had to custom order this can size in diet because you can't get them anywhere.
Right.
So thanks to our friend over at Bound Beverages, he was able to get me these cans in diet.
Okay. So Arizona iced tea, if you're listening, I don't know why you would be, but if you are, Gummi loves Arizona iced tea.
22 fluid ounce cans in diet.
Yes, in diet. Hook him up. I don't know. He'll plug you on the show or so. No, he plugs you on the show anyway. Why would they do anything?
I know.
They already get the milk for free. So, all right. TikTok world, thank you for listening in. It's great to see you, or great to hear from people. And Donnie, thank you for the question. We love it. Send more questions. It's the coolest part about this job. And then everybody else we'll catch up with you next week. Are we doing Wednesday finally? Getting back to our actual Wednesday schedule? No, of course not. We're not sure yet. Mr. Golf over here.
It's not just golf, but
other things.
You remember I have that barbecue that's
right.
That's Wednesday in 2
Wednesday
weeks.
Okay, yeah.
Next Wednesday, I have golf that Wednesday.
We'll be on at some point somewhere. So just watch for us 24 hours a day, I guess, till you see us. All right, man. Have a good week.